Over tsunami, about 11,000 people are turning 65 years old every day. And starting next year, that's when the whole 67 years old kicks in for those people born 1960 and after. All right, so today we're going to talk about why you're going to be losing tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm going to see if I can help you make sure you don't lose any more. You make all the decisions. I know I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country. And I know that if you make the wrong decision at the wrong time, it'll affect your benefits for you and your spouses and your divorced spouses and your children for the rest of your life. So I want to make sure you are getting everything you're entitled to. So that's my new mission in life. This is also a live Q&A. So if you have any questions, make sure you type them in chat. I'm going to talk about what you have to do once you're turning 65 here. Should take about 10 minutes, and then I'll open it up to questions. And so make sure you type your question into chat. All right. So there are several facts that are pretty much indisputable. Number one is 65 is not your full retirement age. I get people all the time says, "Hey, when I turn my full retirement age 65, what do I do?" Well, number one, that's not your full retirement age. If you were born in 1960 or after, your full retirement age is 67 years old. And so here's where you're losing all this money. If your full retirement age was 65 years old and they didn't change it back in the 1980s in order to shore up Social Security for the future, kind of our parents and uncles and aunts, whatever, decided to not take the pain themselves and go ahead and move it on to us younger people and raise the retirement age for the rest of us. But because you had to wait 2 more years to get your benefits, that is the average check right now is about $1,900. You figure about $1,900 times 24 months. That's where you come up with the $40,000. And you're like, well, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to wait till my full retirement age or whatever the case may be. I'm going to take my benefits early. Well, same thing. You're losing benefits the rest of your life because anytime you take your benefits early from Social Security, we're talking retirement benefits or spouse benefits or survivor benefits. Anytime you take your money early from Social Security, your benefits are reduced. And if you took your benefits 2 months, 3 months, or 3 years, or 4 years early because your full retirement age is 67, those are more years that your benefits are decreased. So you are losing benefits even if you start your benefits early. Whether you start at 62, 65, or 67, unfortunately, it's baked into the cake. Those calculations are already made that you're getting a reduced amount. Okay, so that's fact number one. Let's move into fact number two is, oh, and by the way, they're trying to raise the retirement age again. So if you're good with having your children or grandchildren have to wait till 68, 69, 70, then I guess that's a decision we have to make. But remember, that's also going to cut their benefits as well. All right. Number two is the fact that working and early retirement limitations. So because your full retirement age has been changed, you're limited to how much you can make and collect Social Security. Before, after 65, you could work and collect Social Security, and it wasn't an issue whatsoever. But because you have to wait another 2 years, you're limited for those 2 years and how much you can make. This year, it is, next year it's going to be $23,400. In 2025, they just came out with a number, $23,400. Anything over that, if you start your benefits early, it's reduced for $1 every $2 you go over that amount. So there's also a annual versus a monthly earnings limit. So the difference is if let's say you go ahead and you want to start your benefits in July and you're talking early retirement. You go ahead and start your benefits in July. Social Security only cares about how much you make starting in July. Okay. So anything before that is not really relevant in terms of the annual earnings limit. They switched to a monthly earnings limit. So basically from July, you have to stay under the monthly limit. For next year, that's $1,950. Anything you make before that time, it doesn't matter. You can make $1 billion, but once you start your Social Security benefits, then that's when they start calculating. Okay. All right. So let's see what else here. Number three, looks like we've got a bunch of questions there. So I'm going to hold off on the questions till the end here. But one thing I want to point out that I'm having kind of a Thanksgiving special. So usually I answer questions. I do a topic of the day and then I answer questions for about 30, 40, 50 minutes. Um, but Thanksgiving, here's the opportunity to give an olive branch to that person in your family that you think voted for another way or whatever the case may be. You're not talking to that person anymore. We're still family. We're all in this together. Politicians love to divide us for their own benefit. And let's be smarter than them and not be divided and work together. And one of the things you can do, is make sure your family, friends, people that come over for Thanksgiving are getting all the benefits they're entitled to. So take a few minutes out of the game, whatever you're doing, come on over and join my live Q&A and help those people in your family make sure they're getting all the benefits they're entitled to. So that'll be Thanksgiving Day. All right. Fact number three is that Medicare is not mandatory. It is, but it isn't. So I see a lot of people losing money because they go ahead and sign up for Medicare at 65 years old when they actually don't need it because they have health insurance from current work. So if you have health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's, and your employer has 20 or more employees, then you do not have to sign up for Medicare. So people are always freaking out. Oh, I'm going to be 65 next month or 3 months from now or whatever the case may be. And I heard it's mandatory. I'm going to be penalized for the rest of my life. No, not if you have health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's, and you have 20 or more employees in that particular plan. So you can not sign up for Medicare, no problem. You don't have to sign up for Part A, Part B. You can sign up for Part A if you want. It's, zero premium. Might cover some of the deductibles for your other plan. But in terms of Part B, don't waste next year's $185. Don't waste $185. Go ahead and wait when you're 70 or 85 or whatever, and you stop receiving health insurance from that current work. Then you can go ahead and sign up for Part B, and there's no penalties whatsoever. I would definitely check with your HR. Sometimes your health insurance company, whatever company your employer uses, sometimes they make you sign up for Part A or Part B so they can save money on their side. If you need help with any of that, I help with all the Social Security type questions here in my live Q&A: retirement, survivor benefits, spouse benefits. I have partnered with an organization, Chapter Medicare. They can help you with all things Medicare, so reach out to them. If you're going to be turning 65 and you want to set up for a plan starting January, do me a favor and don't give them a call until after December 7th, because right now we're in the midst of the annual enrollment period from October 5th to December 7th. And there's millions of people that had their Medicare Advantage plans and their Part D plans canceled. So we've got a crazy amount of people calling in. And there's a bunch of people, even more people, that had their plans downgraded and they're losing a lot of benefits. So they're calling in and trying to switch their plans. So if you need help now, go ahead and call them up. But if you're Medicare, you want it to start January, after January, just go ahead and do me a favor. Just call them up after December 7th. You'll probably get in a lot easier too. So definitely reach out to them and they'll be able to help you out. And make sure you subscribe. And if you're going to be turning 65 next February, March, April, August, or something like that, and you know how it is, you say, okay, I'll make sure I come back and check with Ed next August when I need help. But then you lose my channel and you forget about me, like my wife does sometimes. But anyway, that's not here or there. Fact number four. So I've got one more fact. So we got 5 facts. This is number 4. If you're receiving disability, people with disability receive Medicare after being on disability for 24 months. So if you receive disability, in most states, the only thing you can get before 65 is a Medicare Advantage. Some people would rather have a Medicare supplement plan. Well, when you turn 65, guess what? You have a second chance. You can get a Medicare supplement plan without any type of health underwriting. So make sure you reach out and see if that's an option that you might like. Fact number 5 is too many people file for the wrong benefits at the wrong time. Again, Social Security is not forgiving. You can't do a mulligan in a lot of respects. So if you make the wrong decision at the wrong time, it might reduce your benefits. You might get the wrong benefits. You might lose a lot of different strategies. That's exactly why I do this live Q&A on a regular basis. And I've made over 800 videos. So make sure you subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. Like, and we can go out there and make sure everybody around you gets everything they're entitled to. All right, I got some questions here. Let's see. It looks like YouTube is having an issue with the chat. I don't see a lot of questions coming up. YouTube might be down or whatever the case may be, but we're recording this, and so that's good enough. All right. So, question here. I am 62 on SSDI, 10 years, and we divorced after 10 years and never married, never remarried. He died at 59 in 2006, soon after losing his job. Will the retirement account from his company count as income? No, usually in a retirement account does not count as income because it's based on, earnings, what you actually pay FICA on. So a retirement account, probably not. But remember, you were married to that person for 10 years and you are 62. You can actually collect survivor benefits starting at 60 years old. Remember that. But so as early as 60, you could have collected survivor benefits. So if that benefit is higher than yours, I would definitely call Social Security and file a surviving spouse claim. Again, it's every time you file for benefits from Social Security, you start your benefits from Social Security early, it's reduced. So definitely call them up and say, hey, how much is if my survivor benefits if I start this month? How much is if I start next year? And then kind of make the decision. That's not going to stop your disability. You're going to continue to get your disability and your Medicare because you have disability, but you'll be able to get spouse benefits or surviving spouse benefits on top of that. One always kind of offsets the other. Let's see. Another question. Do I need to request my benefits in order to request the independent divorced spouse benefits? Yes. In order to get independently entitled divorced spouse benefits, you need to file for benefits on your own record first. Yes. All right, let me see what kind of questions we got in our other areas here. Regular Medicare versus Advantage, what do you recommend? I always recommend staying with original Medicare and get a Medicare supplement plan, either an N or a G. That way you don't have to deal with, prior authorizations and networks and, the insurance company getting between you and your doctor. That is always what I recommend. But unfortunately, some people just can't afford that premium for the Medicare supplement plan, so they get a Medicare Advantage plan. I understand that, but if you can, get a Medicare supplement. If you can't, then Medicare Advantage, you can't just have Part A and Part B unless you got a few $100,000 or a few $1 million socked away under your mattress somewhere. So you have to have something to go along with Part A and Part B. So either Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage. Medicare Advantage, you just have to keep up on it every year. Once a year, you need to review it and make sure it's still the best plan for you. What is this BS Part B IRMA? Technical term BS. The IRMA is the income related monthly adjustment amount. It basically, if your earnings for this year, actually it's 2 years ago, but for this year, it's based on 2 years ago. If your earnings are over $103,000, or if you're married over $206,000 2 years ago, then you pay an extra Part B premium. So an extra Part B premium could be an extra $100, $200, $300 or something. If you disagree with it, say, for instance, they're charging you that extra premium this year because you had higher earnings a couple of years ago, but since then, you've had a life-changing event. That is, you got divorced or you quit working, retired, whatever the case may be, then they can readjust that premium and you won't have to pay that. So there's a form for that. It's called SSA 44. But one of the issues is a lot of people get hit with that IRMA because they sell a house and that counts as capital gains, and Congress didn't make an exception for this. So if you made a couple of 100,000, 300,000 profit from selling your house, then unfortunately you're going to have to pay a Part B extra premium for 1 year, just 1 year. It's not forever. It's just for 1 year. I'm 67 and would like to continue working. Can I work and collect Social Security? Yep, you're full retirement age, so you can make $1 billion a month, and it doesn't matter anymore. So you can continue to receive your Social Security and work. Medi in California. How does Advantage work for us? So Medi is when you have Medicare and Medicaid. So in California they call it Medi-Cal, but it's the same thing. So if you have Medicaid and Medicare, so you can have both. A lot of people don't realize you can have both. Then you are eligible. It depends on your level of Medicaid. You get a QMB, QI, Slim B. It really depends on the level of Medicaid in your particular state. But you might be eligible for what's called a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan. And those are the ones you see advertised, with all the super bells and whistles, thousand, $2,000, $400,000 grocery cart, a tad bit of an exaggeration. Though they do exist, not the 400,000 one. They do exist, but the way they're advertised is, I believe, kind of scammy. Because what they do is some insurance company or agent or agency or whatever, they take the best grocery card, flex card in the country, and then they advertise it to everybody. And then, on Facebook or wherever, and you call them up and they say, well, you don't live in this one little zip code in West Virginia, so you can't get it. And so, but then they got you on the phone and they do the hard sell. And so, yeah, they are available. You can reach out to my partners at the chapter and they can see if one is available in your neck of the woods. Trump wants to stop Social Security taxes from paychecks. Thoughts? Yeah, that'll help people. It won't help the people that kind of really need it, the 40 or 50% that are pretty much just living on Social Security alone because they don't pay taxes on Social Security. You only pay taxes on Social Security. 50% is subject to tax if you make over 24,000, and then it goes up to 85%. But 40 to 50% of people that are, just struggling to get by are just receiving Social Security benefits, and they already don't pay taxes. And what happens is those taxes that everybody pays on their Social Security benefit, you might agree with it or disagree with. I don't think we should have paid taxes on Social Security from the beginning. It started in the 1980s, but anyway, it is a reality now. But if it goes away, that's fine. But the problem is that's billions of dollars coming into the Social Security and paying out benefits. So if that goes away, then there needs to be a way to fill that gap of all that money, because we're already looking at the benefit cuts anywhere from 17, 21, 33% benefit cuts in the next few years. And if the Social Security taxes are cut out, then yeah, it's not going to be good. So my mom made a one-time capital gain, and the following years has been the same income as normal. Okay, all right. Yeah, so again, capital gains, it doesn't really affect your Social Security benefit, retirement benefits. It's not count as income or anything unless, she's the CEO of a company and that's her income. The only thing capital gains would necessarily affect would be the extra premium for Part B. Let's see. If I go over on the earned income of Social Security while drawing, can I pay that back to Social Security? Yeah. So if you're early retirement, regular retirement benefits, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, or whatever the case may be, and you go over, then yes, what happens is, again, $1 for every $2 you go over. And then what happens is when you file your taxes the following year, you notify the IRS how much you made and everything, and the IRS notifies Social Security. And if you made $10,000 over, then Social Security sends you a nastygram that says you went $10,000 over, you owe us $5,000. So they always ask for a check right then. It's like, hey, pay us $5,000 right now. Nobody sends a check almost immediately. They usually set up some type of payment or something. So I was 70 in October 2024. How do I apply for my benefits? I need help. I don't want to make any mistakes. So number one, you're doing the right thing in the sense of actually, you're actually missed it. You should apply starting 70. I'd call up immediately and schedule an appointment. Hopefully they can take you back to last month, because your benefits stop increasing the month you turn 70. So you should start your benefits at 70. You should start your benefits last month if you're able to, because you're losing basically money by waiting after 70. And then if you've already got Medicare, um, then it's very easy to sign up because you're already in the system and everything. So it's easy to start your money benefits. In terms of, yeah, 70, if you've got any children or anything like that, and your spouses, they're waiting for benefits, current spouses. Once you file, then they can file. But yeah, in terms of timing, yeah, last month, that's when you should start your benefits. So, do all Medicare Advantage plans have the same coverage? Will they pay for medically necessary contacts the same? No, they're technically they're supposed to, but some companies, give you a lot more prior authorizations, and there's a big scandal about one, using a computer algorithm to deny people and delay people, and yeah, it's just they're all the same. Or excuse me, they're all different. Yeah, and you could have one company in one area, and you're like, oh, when I was living in that particular state, I had this one company and they were awesome. Okay, well, but then you move to another state, and that might be the worst company in that particular area. And the companies, the Medicare Advantage companies themselves, a lot of people say, "Hi, I like the company I have. It has my doctor. It has zero premium." Well, that's fine. That's usually how companies do it. But the thing is, that company probably has 4, 5, 6, 7 different versions of their Medicare Advantage plans, and yours might be an older version, and they've come out with a whole bunch of new versions in the interim, and they are hoping you don't check because the new plan, might save you a whole bunch on MRIs or specialists or nights in the hospital or X-rays or whatever the case may be. So they're hoping you stay on the older version of the plan so they can make more money. But we're smarter than that, right? We check our plans. Should I claim Social Security money now versus full retirement age at 67 to 10 months? I was 65. Okay. It really depends. People ask me all the time, when should I start my Social Security benefits? And there's so many questions. Are you working? If you're working and making over the annual earnings limit, then your benefits are going to be, offset. Um, how healthy you are, the longevity in your family. Is receiving benefits going to put you in a higher tax bracket? Do you have other people waiting on you to file so they can get benefits, a spouse or children or whatever the case may be? Do you need the money? That's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, so it really depends on those questions of, when you're going to file. All right. A few weeks ago, I called the chapter number and spoke to Matt. He was such a nice young man, very friendly and patient. He didn't make me feel rushed and answered all my questions. So glad I called. All right. Good deal. I will pass that on to Matt and Matt's supervisor, and I'll let him know. Yeah, I'm getting very, very good responses from people that use chapter. So please, yeah, keep me abreast of it. And yeah, my son and I looked throughout the country for some place to help y'all. And we settled on chapter, and I think we made a good decision. But I'm going to keep an eye on them, make sure they do the right thing by y'all. Are survivor benefits on top of SSDI payments? Yes. So if you are eligible for spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, survivor benefits, you will continue to get your disability if you have disability. And then those benefits are added on there. Say, for instance, you're getting $1,000 from your disability and you're entitled to $1,500 from a spouse or surviving spouse. So you'll continue to get your $1,000 plus an extra 500. So for a total of 1,500. So one is added on top of the other. Brenda, I'm planning to start reduced retirement benefits at 62, then switch to full widow's benefits at 67. But Social Security says if I start my benefits early, widow's benefits will also be permanently reduced. No, that's one of the things you can switch. So probably you called the 800 number or talked to somebody at the front window, someone that's not necessarily a Title II. It's called the retirement specialist. So yeah, you can file for benefits on your own record and then switch to survivor benefits. You can file for survivor benefits and then switch to benefits on your own record. That's the only thing that's exempt from what's called this deemed filing, where if you file for one, you have to file for the other. Surviving spouse benefits are different like that. So yeah, you probably just talked to somebody at the front windows there. I'm mentally disabled and on disability and Social Security. I also have my late father's Social Security since I was 18 and I'm 51. Now, will this affect checks? Um, no, no. You're receiving disabled adult child benefits off of your late father's record. As long as you are continually, you're able to work. Make sure you limit your work if you're able to go out there and work. But yeah, the benefits will increase pretty much ever, or excuse me, it will continue pretty much forever as long as they consider you disabled, unless a law or something changes, right? If you are on SSDI and try to continue working after your trial work period, do you submit your pay stubs every month? Thank you for all your help, Dr. Ed. Yes, if after you finish your trial work period, you move into what's called the extended period of eligibility. It's 36 months. So every month you go over the substantial gainful activity, then you're technically not entitled to benefits for that particular month. So it's important to make sure you notify Social Security so you do not get an overpayment. And you can do that online through a work report online. My ex-husband has dementia from alcoholism. He worked but didn't pay taxes. We were married over 10 years. So yeah, if the person didn't pay taxes or, FICA, which include FICA taxes, then they might not be insured. But I would definitely call Social Security and check, maybe, before then or since then or whatever the case may be. Call Social Security, give them the social if you know it, the Social Security number. If you don't know it, no problem. Just give them the person's name, date of birth, where they were born, and Social Security will be able to find the Social Security number and see if there's any more benefits on there. By adding a spouse and children to my SSDI, will it increase? By adding a spouse, well, your SSDI won't increase, but they will get checks. So if you're receiving disability benefits. When you're receiving disability benefits, you have children, they're eligible for 50% of your full benefit amount. If you have a spouse that sounds like they're maybe filing for the child and care benefits, then yes, they will be able to get benefits. There is a family max, a maximum that can be paid out to a family. But yeah, Social Security will run the family max on your particular situation. So, but it will not reduce your benefits. Maybe that's usually that's what people are asking. Will it reduce my benefits? No, it will not reduce your benefits. They'll just get extra money. Can he draw benefits from me and would that lower my benefits? We're both 58. Oh, okay. I think this is a follow-up for the previous person. Yes, yes, any ex-spouse, if you're married to 10 years or longer to that particular person and not currently married, then yes, if your benefit amount is twice his benefit amount, then yes, you're entitled to benefits on that person's record. So if we call that number, we speak to you. No, for Social Security questions, this is where you ask Social Security questions during my live Q&A. I pretty much do it about an hour every week. But the Medicare, you call a chapter and they help you with Medicare plans, Medicare supplements, Part D, Medicare Advantage. They just help with Medicare. They cannot answer Social Security questions. With new policy of no tax on Social Security, will I be able to collect tax-free while getting paychecks? Yeah, we don't know if it's going to pass and tax-free. Yeah, if it passes, then you will not pay Social Security taxes, or you will not pay taxes on your Social Security benefits. That's what that means. Doesn't necessarily mean you won't pay taxes based on whatever else, but yeah. Um, all right. Medicare disadvantage plans are no bueno. Yes, that's what a lot of people call them, disadvantage. Yeah, if I had, if I was dictator for a day, I'd get rid of Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage and all of it, and just fill the holes of original Medicare Part A and Part B. But yeah, there it is. My husband is 62. Should he take Social Security or wait till 64? Again, it really depends on those questions. Is he healthy? Does he need the money? Is he working? How does VA unemployable work with SA? Veterans Administration unemployable. If so, you are, looks like VA disability perhaps. If you're receiving VA disability, then I would definitely reach out to Social Security and see if you can file for benefits and see if you can get approved for disability benefits from the Social Security Administration. Um, but Social Security has different regulations for disability. With the VA, you can be 10, 20, 30, 40% disabled. With Social Security, you're either disabled or you're not. So, and disability is the inability to work. So, not sure. And YouTube, I think YouTube is messed up somewhere, somehow. Questions are not coming through. So I am not ignoring YouTube here. It's just that for some reason, questions are not coming through on YouTube. But so if you have questions, I apologize. I will be back again tomorrow. And every day, y'all can ask me anything. It doesn't matter. I can keep working and collect SSI when I'm eligible. All right. You said SSI. SSI is the welfare-based program. You probably mean Social Security. SSI is supplemental security income. It's welfare. If you receive the welfare benefits, then there's very, very, very limited ability to work. But you're probably just talking about regular Social Security. If you file for Social Security early, then there is limitations. Again, next year, $23,400. Anything over that, Social Security holds back $1 for every $2 you go over. So let's see. Is the timeline for semi retired income to January to December for everyone, no matter when you sign? No. You have what's called a monthly earnings limit. So as I mentioned, if you start your benefits in July, Social Security doesn't care about what you made before July. You can make $1 billion from January to June. They only care about how much you make going forward from July till the end of the year. And next year, that's $1,950. Anything over that, they won't start your benefits for that month. But then the following year, you have to stay under the annual earnings limit. So a lot of people miss that, monthly earnings limit. Most of okay, let me see. Would I get Social Security tax? Okay, I already answered that one. I turned 65 in May. Why am I being bombarded with solicitation for insurance? Yes. Because you use the internet and Google and all the rest of it. And there's John Oliver did a great show on this about data brokers. There's data brokers out there. Anytime you go in there and you push buttons and the computer and stuff, it looks at that and says, hey, this person looks to be turning 65. And then they sell that information to every health insurance agency and company in the country. And they all want to take you to the 65-year-old Medicare prom. Yeah, so that's why you're getting all that information. So yeah, it's unsolicited. Make sure they don't call you. They can't call you starting October 1st. The Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, Medicare, changed the laws that says, they can't cold call you like that. If you told Bob in Topeka to call you to help you with Medicare, then Bob can call you, but nobody else can call you. And Bob's company can call you, but nobody else. But what happened before October 1st is if Bob calls you and, doesn't make money on you, then he sells your name and phone number and address and everything to everybody else in the country, and everybody calls you and harasses you. So yeah, it's a terrible situation. That's why the whole industry, what's the technical word? Sucks. So that's why I reached out to Chapter. So stop all these cold calls, and people need help and told the right thing. So, all right, let's see what other kind of questions we have here. I'm turning 65 in March. I'm retired. Which plans do I pick? I'm in Los Angeles. It really depends on what plans are available in your area. So the first thing you need to do is obviously sign up for Part A, Part B. You can do that about 2 or 3 months before you turn 65. If you are already receiving Social Security benefits, then you will essentially be auto-enrolled. So your Medicare will start automatically. They'll send you your package, about 3 months before you turn 65. And then you have to make 2 decisions. Start with 2 decisions. Do you want a Medicare supplement, one of those plan N and G, or do you want a Medicare Advantage? Okay. And then if you say a Medicare supplement, then you have to pick, an N or a G. And then you have to also pick a prescription drug plan on the top of that. Or if you want dental and vision, you get one of those. If you want a Medicare Advantage, then there's probably in Los Angeles, there's probably 100 different options in your particular area. How do you do it at Medicare Advantage? You check your doctors first, see which doctors a particular plan covers. You see the prescriptions, how much, the tiers and the deductibles and the pricing of it, whatever drugs you have. And then you check for all the other rest of the stuff, how much it is for a hospital, how much it is for a CT scan, how much is it for, is there any perks about over the counter or anything like that? There's so many different variables. And to get help from Chapter or any Medicare insurance agent or broker in the country, it's 100% free. They can't charge you to help you with Medicare. And because you already paid for their help when you paid Medicare all those decades. So yeah, reach out to Chapter there. But please call December 8th, maybe December 9th, because all the agents that help, the brokers that help you at Chapter, they are inundated, and the last day to change plans for 2025 is December 7th. And let's give them a day to sleep for 24 hours. And then December 9th, then yeah, jump on them again and start calling. 24 hours of sleep is enough. Can I receive my benefits and my husband's who passed away benefits? Yeah, it really depends on your benefit amount and everything. But yes, if you are currently receiving retirement benefits on your own record and you're eligible for survivor benefits, yes, you can add those on top of yours. One offsets the other. If you're not receiving retirement benefits, then I would maybe check to see what the numbers are for just survivor benefits and collect survivor benefits only, and let yours increase. So yours will continue to increase until your full retirement age and past, even to 70 years old. So that's a strategy. Collect survivor benefits and then switch over onto your own, or vice versa. What is going to happen when Republicans take away Social Security or privatize Social Security? Yeah, don't know. I mean, that's kind of, I did a video about a month or two ago about Social Security Advantage, because Medicare Advantage is essentially the privatization of Medicare. And so if we do the same thing with Social Security Advantage, you have to go to private companies, and they have to, the CEOs have to make Social Security, the overhead for all those Social Security offices throughout the country, for the 65,000 employees and the electricity and all that kind of stuff, it's less than 1% of what's being taken in. And I would argue if we privatize it, the CEO themselves are probably going to make 10% off the top. And so, yeah, the administrative costs are going to go crazy. So I'm completely against privatization. Is Social Security given an increase in January? How much is the increase? A whopping 2.5%. And it's not a political thing. That was taken out of the political sphere back in the 1970s. Basically, it's just the Department of Labor Statistics runs the numbers, and they say, okay, a basket of goods in the third quarter of last year was this much. The same basket of goods the third quarter of this year was this much. How much did it increase? It increased by 2.5%, and that's what you get. I think it's wrong because they do it based on a basket of goods for younger people. They should do it on a basket of goods for elderly people. And I've talked about this several times. So if that was the case, then it'd probably be, 3 or 4 or 5% possibly. But I don't think that legislative is going to happen. Yeah, hopefully, unless they want to make me the commissioner of Social Security or some crazy thing like that, which I doubt they'll do because I'm too annoying and outspoken. Old Marine Corps Sergeant, what can I do? I'm boycotting Medicare Advantage private insurance, going on straight Medicare. All right. So hopefully you got a few $100,000 sitting around somewhere. If you probably mean you're going to straight Medicare, just A and B, but hopefully you're also getting a supplement to cover all the gaps of original Medicare. Because remember, Part B, it's great, but it only covers 80%. So if you have a $100,000 Band-Aid, then you have to pay $20,000 of it. So I would, unless you got a whole bunch of money around, get a Medicare supplement. So I know what you mean. Oh, and speaking of all of those, close to 2 million people that have had their Medicare Advantage plans canceled, they're actually lucky in one respect. They might be lucky. Is that when you have your Medicare Advantage plan like that canceled, you have a guaranteed issue to get a Medicare supplement plan. So if you're 80 years old and you've got some health issues and you're like, wow, I really should have got a Medicare supplement 20 years ago, but I fell for the whole zero premium and the gym membership or whatever, but I really should have got a Medicare supplement. But I can't get it now because I have diabetes or heart issue or whatever the case may be. Well, guess what? If you've been canceled, none of that matters. You can go ahead and get either a Medicare Supplement Plan F, depending on your age, or a Medicare Supplement Plan G. And they can't deny you because of any health reasons because your Medicare Advantage plan was canceled. So I got a lot of people out there that like, Ed, I hope I get that letter that says I'm canceled. So if you didn't get that letter, reach out to a chapter there and they will check to see if your plan has been canceled if you didn't get the notification or if it's been downgraded to such an extent that, if you looked under the hood and looked at all the details, you're like, well, I cancel it myself. I'll keep the same company. I'll just upgrade to their newer plan, right? They downgraded mine to a 72 Pinto, and they just came out with a, new Corvette. So I'm going to keep the same company. I'm just going to give away the Pinto version and go for the Corvette. So sorry, Pinto lovers out there. How much time does it take to be approved for Medicare from Social Security? For Medicare, 5 minutes. I've taken hundreds of thousands of Medicare claims, and yeah, for Medicare, super easy. You just go in there, provide your birth certificate. Most times you don't even need your birth certificate. You can file online for Medicare, and yeah, they push the button, and it takes no time whatsoever. For Medicare early retirement, I've taken hundreds of thousands. If everything is good, you've got the proofs, and there's nothing strange on your earnings record, and everything is cool and copacetic, then by the time the person walks out of the building, push the button, it's started. So easy, easy, easy. But in terms of filing for it, because you don't know the particular office and getting an appointment, I would always, if you're looking to go ahead and sign up for Medicare or monthly benefits, a month, 2 or 3 months before. 3 months before, call and schedule an appointment because right now you won't be able to get an appointment for like a month after anyway. So, what about privatization or cutting benefits? I would rather not eat. I don't personally, but used to say my old drill instructor, if I wanted your opinion, I'd beat it out of you, Ed. But my opinion, I don't believe in privatization and I don't want benefits to be cut. What I believe should be done, y'all don't care what I believe, but what happens is if for this year, if you make over $168,600, you don't pay Social Security FICA tax anymore. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, for us regular schmoes that make under that, we have to pay FICA on every dollar we make. If you make over 168,000, so if you're making $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, you don't pay FICA tax on any of that except for the part under 168,000. So I believe every American should pay FICA tax just as us regular people. So if we raise that cap, not to 168,000, but we eliminated the cap completely, then we would all be good and we wouldn't have to worry about the future of Social Security and cuts and all the rest of it. Because right now there is no cap for Medicare. So people making $1 million, they have to pay Medicare on all their earnings. So we just do the same with Social Security, part of the FICA tax, and done. But that involves rich people paying their fair share like the rest of us. And, the golden rule, those with the gold rules. Any tips in terms of signing up my 21-year-old autistic son for SSI? Yes, do it as soon as possible because the whole thing takes way, 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 way too long. When I was taking disability claims, and at that time, everybody was telling people you'll get a decision in 3 to 6 months. Now it's 6 to 9 months if you're lucky. So definitely file, and then go in there and I've got 3 videos on tells you how to file for disability, a bunch of tips, tricks, and secrets about medical, records and all the rest of it. So watch those 3 videos and definitely go get your benefits as soon as possible because it does take a while. What are the chances of winning a back pay appeal with an ALJ hearing? It really depends on what the situation is, but be forewarned, it sounds as though you were approved for disability, perhaps, and you are just arguing a different onset date. So the disability judge, the administrative law judge says, okay, we determined you became disabled January of 2024. And your argument is, no, it was January 2023. If you appeal that, then you're reopening the case, period. So maybe another judge gets it and says, wow, why did this other judge prove this thing at all? This person is not disabled. And so when you reopen the case like that, then you're kind of taking your chances. So, how much time does it take to get approval for Medicare Part A and Part B? Again, yeah, 5 minutes. So once you provide all the information. I worked since teens. I will retire this year at 57. Been making, been maxing for years. Bad idea? Not, hey, retirement is never a bad idea, except for me. I retired, and about a week later, I came back and started doing this crazy thing. But obviously, you're not going to be able to start your Social Security benefits until you hit 62 years old. But if you already maxed out your high 35 years of earnings, so if we're just talking about Social Security, if you've already maxed out your high 35 years of earnings, then you're going to get the max benefit amount. So if you wait until your full retirement age to actually collect 67, then you'll get your max benefit amount. So if you collect it early, then you'll get about a 30% reduction. So, hey, if you're able to retire, then it's a beautiful thing. But I have to warn you, I've taken hundreds of thousands of retirement claims, and I always, I'm a talker, as you can tell. I always ask a little small talk. Hey, so what are you going to do? Congratulations, you retired. What are you going to do now? And every now and then people say, I'm not going to do anything. I worked for 50 years. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to sit around the house and do nothing. And then within a year, the surviving spouse comes in and files a surviving spouse claim, and I'm like, wait a second, I took the claim for this guy, and he passed away. Yeah, he just stopped working. He didn't do anything, and you stopped. That's it. It's kind of like a bicycle. Slow down, and that's it. You fall over. So stay busy, travel, spoil the grandchildren, volunteer, volunteer. Did I say volunteer? Can Trump really just cancel Social Security? Well, Supreme Court kind of says he can do whatever he wants. What age is I can collect, 65 or 62? Both. If you collect at 62, then your benefits are going to be reduced more than if you collected at 65. If X is still working, 62, can I collect off his? I'm retiring January on SSDI now. Good question. Yes, thank you. Perfect. All right. Yes. If your X is still working, doesn't matter. As long as your X, you were married to that person for 10 years or longer, and your ex is at least 62 years old, and you are at least 62 years old, then you can collect you can collect benefits on that person's record. It's called independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. It's a mouthful. So, but you have to have been divorced for 2 years. So you're divorced for 2 years, and you were married to the person for 10 years, and then their benefit amount has to be twice your benefit amount. And you are on Social Security disability, so please, I don't know if you're on any disability forums or something out there, but please share this information. There's a lot of people on disability that want to go collect, are entitled to spouse benefits or surviving spouse benefits or divorce spouse benefits or independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, but they don't want to get those extra benefits because they think it'll stop their disability, which they don't care about, but they also have Medicare because of that disability and they need their Medicare. So that is incorrect. You can get disability and continue your Medicare because you have it and get survivor benefits, spouse benefits, and all the rest of it on top of that. One offsets the other again. But yes, please, if you're on any disability, whatever, share that information. There's a lot of people out there struggling. Yeah, so I'm not helping because I'm helping people find money. We've probably found hundreds of millions of dollars of lifetime benefits for people through this channel. And I am single-handedly kind of depleting the trust fund, but it's your benefits. You're entitled to them. And people hate when I said the word entitlement. They just need to go into the dictionary and look that there's two definitions of entitlement. There's the definition that y'all think is a four-letter word. That was started under Reagan, I think, really, the whole welfare Cadillacs and stuff. But there's another definition of entitled. I get comments all the time. It's not an entitlement. I work for this and it's mine. So like you're entitled to it? Yeah. So there's two definitions of entitlement. So that's another thing politicians do is they divide us and, say, hey, it's an entitlement, it's welfare, it's given to the Ukraine or the illegals and we fall for it every single time. So that misdirection, hey, look over here. Don't focus on the important parts. Look over here. It's a lot more fun and you can get really angry and stuff. So, yeah. Um, can I get ex-spouse benefits if he passed? We were married over 17 years, but I get SSDI now. Yes, you can. Yep. Basically, yeah, I just answered the question from the previous question. So let's see. If I'm on SSI and one of my parents passed away, can I get survivor benefits? Um, if so, SSI, that is the welfare-based program, supplemental security income. So you're getting that probably because of a disability. So in order to get what's called a disabled adult child benefits on a parent's record, you have to prove that you were disabled before the age of 22. And if you're able to get Social Security to approve you for disability before the age of 22, you can get disabled adult child benefits from a parent's record. And if that parent is deceased, you'll get 70 up to 75%. Yes. The Social Security is a broken system. Yeah, definitely be fixed. Yeah, absolutely. Everything can be fixed. Japanese, what, kaizen, continual improvement. That's why my office, I would argue, and so would the commissioner and everybody else in the country. My office was the most efficient office in the country because we rewrote the book every single day and look for, oh, okay, well, let's not put out fires. Let's make sure the fires don't happen. So let me see. What time zone are you on? West Coast. Let's see. How long does it take? Oh, okay, I already answered that 4 times. Let's see the question. Why did my company make me retire at 65? I am on SSDI. Why not 67, the right retirement age? Yeah, I'm not sure about your company. But remember, okay, so this is good. If you're on SSDI, disability benefits, and you turn your full retirement age, then you're no longer on disability. They switch you from disability to regular retirement benefits. A lot of people don't even know they've been switched because if you're on disability and they switch you at your full retirement age to regular retirement benefits, it's just a bureaucratic thing. They stop taking your money out of the disability trust fund and start taking out of the retirement trust fund. Your check stays the same, the direct deposit stays the same, and I get people all the time at 85 years old. I'm on disability. No, you're not. Your disability stopped like 2 decades ago. You're just on regular retirement. And the problem is there's so many people out there that, because they think they're on um, disability, they're like 70 years old. And they're like, yeah, I'd really like to work. Somebody offered me a really easy, cushy job, and I turned it down because I don't want my disability to stop. And I'm like, call them back now. You're not on disability anymore. You're on regular Social Security benefits. So you can work and make as much as you want because you're past your full retirement age. You make $1 billion and it doesn't affect your Social Security because it doesn't affect it negatively. It'll probably affect it positively. So you no longer have any limitations. You no longer have any work limitations. You no longer have any, annual earnings limit or CDRs, the continuing disability reviews. So, all right. I guess the title of the thumbnail is better than hearing "Happy 62nd birthday. You just lost 118,000." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. So, I guess, yeah. Can I work part-time and collect disability? Yes, you can work part-time and collect disability benefits. Um, I've check out my video. Gets into a lot of the weeds. But you have what's called a trial work period where you can work for 9 months, not necessarily consecutive, and make as much as you want for those 9 months to see if you can work. It's a trial work period. And then after that 9 months is exhausted, then you move into your extended period of eligibility. That's 36 months, and you can work. You just have to stay under the substantial gainful activity. SGA next year is $1,620. So as long as you stay under that, you can collect disability and work, unless something happens with the law and work and all that rest of that stuff. So the alphabet system is broken. Yeah, that's SSA and FBI and CIA and CMS. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of people living on Social Security alone there. My sister just turned 65 and found out she has inoperable brain cancer. What should she get on? Wow, wow. Um, So, wow, number one, thank you for taking care of your sister. I love when people come in here and says, "Hey, my friend down the street, or my sister, or my brother," and so great for looking out for people around you. Um, so 65, if she has health insurance from her work or current work, and it's good to deal with these issues, then keep on keeping on. The options for Medicare is sign up for Medicare. You have 3 months before you turn 65, the month you turn 65, and 3 months after. So there's a 7-month period you can sign up for, Medicare Part A and Part B. For people with cancer like that, they're going to have a lot of costs. I would 100% recommend a Medicare Supplement Plan G. So if you have that, so you have to pay your, next year, January, $185 for Part B. And then the Plan G, Medicare Supplement Plan G, it depends on your particular area. Again, call Chapter and they'll give you quotes on your particular area. But if it costs you $100 or something, let's say it costs you $100. So that's $285 a month. Then you have to get a Part D plan, a prescription drug plan, and it depends on your medications and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of your cancer treatment, if you have a Plan G, you go to the doctor and the doctor says you need $1 million of this therapy, and then you get it. And then how much does she has to pay beyond what she's already paid? For next year, she has to pay $257. That's it. So $257, and then Medicare and whatever Medicare supplement plan you chose pays the other 999,900, whatever it is. Yeah. So yeah, for really serious conditions like that, I would highly recommend a Plan G. So, and then she's going to pull through and everything. And then a few years, and if it's difficult to play for the Plan G, I would keep it as long as possible, because you never know when stuff is going to come back. But what some people do is, when in the future, if you just can't afford it anymore, some people switched back to a Medicare Advantage plan with the zero premiums. But those come with, prior authorizations, and the insurance, bean counters can tell you whether you can do this, that, or the other. And yeah, um, so there's that. But I would keep that as long as possible. And remember, if you do in the future switch to a Medicare Advantage, it's extremely difficult to switch back to original Medicare and get a Medicare supplement plan. So yeah, do that with, an eye to the future. So I always recommend Medicare supplement plans. I wish everybody could afford them. If everybody got Medicare supplement plans, then they would be like super, super cheap. They would be cheaper than Medicare Advantage, like cheaper than zero premium. Yeah, Medicare Advantage does all the, $100 for this and $20 for that. So they kind of, as you go, it's a pay-as-you-go system. But if everybody was able to afford Medicare supplement plans, then theoretically, by numbers, the law of, uh, the prices would all go down. But again, as I mentioned, um, if I was a dictator for a day, I would get rid of all of it and just fill all the gaps of Medicare Part A and Part B. But as my regular viewers know, that would be my second decision when I took over as a dictator. My first would be the cure for male pattern baldness. So sorry, I have my priorities. I am selfish. I turned 65 in July. I've been getting phone calls saying I need to call Medicare and register. Yeah, so these people are not supposed to be calling you. If you did not tell that particular person or that particular company to call you, they should not be calling you. They should not be cold calling you. The FTC and the FCC changed the law, changed the regulation. So the Supreme Court, I guess. Anyway, so it's all up in the anyway. But they changed it, and that's effective in March of next year. But CMS, Medicare says, yeah, that's all fine and dandy. Yeah, we want to be part of that too. But March is too late for this annual enrollment period, which began October 15th. So the Medicare pulled that regulation up. So if agents or companies or agencies or brokers are calling you up and you didn't specifically tell them to call you up, then they can have their license taken away from them. So you complain, and, so hopefully we knock out some of these bad apples out there. So Chapter will never call you. I will never call you unless you specifically, but people call me all the time. They call me about this, that, and the other. And 99% of my help is free here. I do offer private consultations to pay for the electricity and the phones and the, computers and stuff like that. And Chapter doesn't charge you as well. to look for a Medicare plan, a Medicare Supplement Advantage, Part D plan, whatever, they're 100% free. So 99.9% of the help we provide is free. But I do, that little side thingy there. So, but you probably only need it if you have questions. Just join my live Q&A, and I'll answer your questions, through that if I can get to it. Let's see. Medicare Advantage provided premium fitness programs, and in 25 they won't. Do you know why? Yeah, it's next year, 2025, for Medicare Advantage and Part D is the most tumultuous year yet. That's why, again, as I mentioned, if you need help with chapter, give them a little break. They've got tons of people calling because there's so many people with their plans canceled and so many plans being downgraded, and so people are making a mass movement to switch and try to get back to Medicare supplements. But we have until December 7th. So yeah, it's crazy. All right, we are over an hour, and it looks like I'm out of time. I will be back again tomorrow. Remember, Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to do. It won't be a Jerry Lewis type thing. I'm not going to do 24 hours, but I'll do 2, 3, 4 hours as long as you all have questions, and as long as I have a voice, I will answer as many questions as I possibly can on Thanksgiving Day. Reach out to the other side, those relatives that you might have a little animosity with because of an election. Politics, they love dividing us, politicians. So reach out to them on Olive Branch and say, hey, Grandpa, is your Social Security all right? You ever wondered if you ever get, is your check okay? Did you ever get, your thing for, your veteran service? Should you be receiving survivor benefits instead of this, and all this other kind of stuff? And yeah, let's come on, we're family. Let's act like it, right? All right.